and basically just try to go tit for tat because he can't possibly defend without dropships. You need the dropships to help you defend. Otherwise, the enemy is just going to have such a mobility advantage.
You know, I admire Piano for sticking with Wraiths. It's the Maverick
thing. By the way,
thing.
Since people always bother me about this, it's 0-0 upgrades up for Piano. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, see, he's not taking... And those Wraiths are fighting Goliaths, which is just great. Yeah, I think what I was going to say is... see, now I forgot.
No problem. I mean, one of the problems that Hanbit Stars has, of course, is their lack of very good players. They're a very gutsy team. They have a lot of medium-level players, but they just lack very good players. And now we're seeing, wow, Piano just running his tanks into a siege line there. That was not a well-thought attack. He should have had some support units going first if he wanted to do that, or perhaps had some dropships, which he hasn't made any so far. So, despite how excited you were about seeing cloak rates in the beginning of the game, do you think Piano has satisfied your definition of good Wraith micro or good Wraith control?
I'm going to have to say no comment on that, but in the meantime, I would like to say that I admire Piano's Maverick style for going just for Wraiths and sticking with it, but he shouldn't. I mean, I wish I could have a talk with the guy, you know, maybe sit down with him, and God, get a physics lab or covert ops, please, for that science facility, because you're not making science vessels, and I guess it's for the upgrades. But yeah, I want to sit down with him and say if you're going to be a Maverick and get unconventional things like Wraiths, you could go into nukes, you could go into medic marines. You don't have to stick with the one thing that doesn't work. You can do lots of things that don't work.
Yeah, basically, if you're going to lose, at least lose in style, right?
Hell yeah.
I do hint some perhaps mocking political commentary there, saying that he's going to perhaps stick with the course, stay the course, don't back down, don't surrender.
No, don't do that. Don't stop doing that.
No, you were the one I thought who started it.
No,
I thought I
way.
heard hints of that. No hints of that. Okay. Anyway, he is staying the course though with the Wraiths. He's doing a little bit of a harass, but unfortunately, he's just not going to be able to do much with these Wraiths. Staying the course here probably was not going to work, and these Charon boosted Goliaths just eating up those Wraiths. So basically, right now, what we're seeing is Piano just desperately trying to break open this one of his opponent's expansions, but Hery definitely has much more expansions than he does. I believe Hery, outside of his opening 2, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expansions beyond his main and his natural. Meanwhile, Piano has, it seems, 3 expansions outside of his main and his natural, so definitely an expansion advantage for Hery, and I'd say his unit composition is much, much smarter, going for the dropships instead of fruitlessly going for these Wraiths and staying the course with them.
I think this is just bewildering. I mean, this is a 4 versus 4 map, and people are expanding all over the place, and there's another drop by Hery, but it doesn't look like it's... Okay, it's gonna clean up this particular position. But this is probably the most macro you will ever see. You know, it's a 4 versus 4 map. There are bases everywhere, and I can't help but wondering just how efficient each of these players are, given how they're doing otherwise.
Well, I think one thing that actually cookie-cutter Terrans, as I like to call them, really are good at is factory production, macro production. That's actually their strongest strength, and sadly, that's how they... I mean, not to make fun of them, but that is generally how they end up advancing into the pros, is because they have very, very strong macro, not necessarily good unit control at all, but very strong macro. They have the build orders memorized, they have the factories hotkeyed, they have the... basically they know exactly what to produce, and they produce a lot of it. So just by sheer weight of material, they manage to get into the lower echelons of the pro force. But I mean, if you're going to fight a player like Flash, you're not going to win this way. But Piano is actually advancing in the middle here. He could be able to take out this one expansion, although once again, he's just advancing with tanks only. Of course, the problem with that is that you need supporting units to be able to absorb some tank fire from your opponent, and even to avoid getting killed by SCVs. I mean, that's you need that. And we're seeing Hery, I believe this is probably, well, if he manages to defend against it, I think this is going to be a good game, and that Piano is going to lose this game.
I think there are a lot of tanks, and I'm not seeing anything out of Hery. I think his forces are scattered all over the place. It's kind of like Stalingrad, where you just have these defended positions, and Hery was not ready because he's pulling SCVs, and I don't think that was the right time to siege by Piano, but Hery is not controlling his SCVs. His SCVs are running into the dropship, and now he's going to drop SCV bombs on Piano's tanks.
I think he is doing SCV bombs, actually. That's actually not a terrible idea at this point. And actually doing a lot of damage with his SCV bombs there. But I actually think that maybe Piano has fought himself back in the game, but I have to say, I definitely give the advantage to Hery at this point. He has most of the map, and once this attack peters off, which it seems that it will right now, Hery is just going to be able to drop all over Piano, and Piano will not have a response to it, since he basically has one Wraith left out of his air fleet. Still no dropships up for him. And that girl's praying for Hery.
That girl is not praying for any of these guys. That girl is praying for Reach to come in and karate chop these guys. No, I think Piano is completely out of it. He just went from a tank count of like 40 to a tank count of maybe 5. And if Hery were on top of his game, there would be drops all over the place because he's got those units scattered and he is advancing. And Piano is he pulling SCVs or transferring them? I can't tell.
I think he was transferring them. Yeah, and Piano is definitely going to lose this expansion here. Oh, he's trying to use his SCVs to attack. This is a matter of, I think, a few minutes before Hery finally chokes his Terran opponent to death, which is actually not very exciting to watch, as True Blue and I both pretty much agree. It's actually not that exciting to watch a slow strangulation in Terran versus Terran.
I would like to see just how many, what percentage of buildings these guys make that are command centers. For every factory, for every barracks, how many command centers they get, because they're building a lot of command centers. And Piano is coming down again with his ragtag force of siege tanks, and he's sieging up, but and of course here's the dropship play coming in, and these tanks are helpless against the units that are too far in range, and I'm not sure what Piano's doing. He's still sending out tanks one by one. Now he's sending them out with SCVs. Maybe he's going to fight to the bitter end, and at the last second there'll be a bunch of Wraiths, or a nuke.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully, but unfortunately, for just looking at Piano's record, he's 3-3 in TBT, and he's actually not played any other games, so I guess his only matchup is not necessarily that great yet.
Yeah, I think Hery can basically just take 2 or 3 second breaks because he can just siege up and then lean back and daydream. He's basically got this game in the bag. It's just really a matter of time. And really, what he should do if he wanted to end this game is just siege the factories of Piano. But no, what the hell is he's expanding again? And he's doing
How many command centers are there? There's one command center mining.
I'm telling you.
There's another command center being constructed, and there's another command center in the middle of nowhere making SCVs, even as everything. Basically, at this point, Piano's half of his force is consisting of SCVs charging in. I think he's confusing SCVs with Zergling so far this game.
Yeah, I think one of their hotkeys is broken, and it's instead being, or maybe all of their hotkeys are broken, and instead being C, for command center. I'm not sure who that player was who was just sweating, but that guy is really, he's panicking. I wonder if that's Piano. I mean, Piano. He has plenty of command centers. I don't know what he's worried about.
Alright, so we're seeing perhaps one of the final blows here. I believe this is the last mining expansion of Piano, and he's definitely a bitter ender, it seems. Taking from the school of Nada, the bitter endedness of his game, but not taking any of the skill from Nada, unfortunately. I mean, Nada's...
Yeah, I think every time Nada did it, it was kind of like he kind of had a chance, At the moment when when the most of the crowd,
and
most
GG,
of the fans feel he's done, he'll be done. Yeah,
GG
and GG. And I wonder which one is which because
Piano's one
they're
on the
both
left.
not looking happy.
Hery is the exhausted one on the right with the KTF shirt.
Is he crying?
No, he was wiping his eyes.
Yeah.
No, that was Hery, the winner. This guy. And where's Flash? Flash actually smiling. That's good. One thing we were talking about.
You must have missaw that. Flash never smiles.
Never combs his hair.
No,
either.
You must have made a mistake. I've got to go back and watch that.
I
that
think
can't
he had
be
a half
right.
smile.
Maybe Nauro was like
tickling him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, guys.